Isn't it about time dads and men had a podcast for us? Somewhere we could go to relieve some stress, help the time pass, and have a chuckle or two? A place for us. This is Word Brings Word. If you're looking for a show with general trending topics and concerns by men and dads, you've found your home. Funny, opinionated, real and raw. This is Word Brings Word, and this is your host, Bruce Jackson.
Hey, how y'all doing? We back with the Word Brings Word. Today we're going to talk about the Ahmaud Arbery case, the updates on the trials, see what y'all think about that, what my boys think about it. Also, we're going to get into some of the Kevin Samuels gossip, drama, however the women want to view it, how the men view it. You know, we all have experiences. We can all bring that together. But we back on the Word Brings Word. I'm Bruce.
I'm Gene.
Got my boys on the phone.
Terry. I'm Terry.
I'm Fabian.
All right, so if you don't know the nicknames, Gene, we got Doony, we got Terry, that's 2 bricks. We got Fabian, you hear Fabo, okay? That's the nicknames right there. But yeah, y'all, so y'all got any word on the street today? I mean, anybody hear anything out here?
Well, they started open arguments last Friday, so they're trying to get down to nitty gritty on this and make the determination of the fate of these three men who killed this young gentleman. And
okay. So for a quick overview, Terry, in case somebody been sleeping under a rock and they don't know what we talking about, let's give a small little summary. Like, hey, you never heard about this? You don't know who Ahmaud Arbery is? This is what happened. Ahmaud Arbery is a 25-year-old young black male. He was killed sometime in February, I think February 23rd of 2020. He was out in the neighborhood just jogging, as what we gather. He was jogging, and he walked into some construction sites in an area, and he was looking around. Well, one of those construction sites had a hidden surveillance camera because they say that they've been having problems with theft from the site. People were stealing materials or whatever. So the owner of that home that was being built had a secret camera hidden in the home and recorded each time Arbery had entered the establishment. Mm-hmm. Well, these guys took it upon themselves, 3 gentlemen, Greg Michaels, Travis Michaels, and Bryant, William Bryant. They took it upon themselves to try to do a citizen's arrest, which that's a topic in itself to talk about. What is a citizen's arrest? Okay.
So that's a high level overview of what happened. Up until now, we have been in the trial. They've been in the trial. Both sides have been delivering their arguments regarding the issue to try to get these 3 men off and to determine the outcome for Ahmaud's family. So that's where we're at now.
Okay, so let me ask you a little bit about this surveillance cameras here. You said they recorded him entering several times. Anytime, was there any theft?
Well, this is what I know. They report that there was theft out at the site. They just can't say that he took it because there were like materials would be stolen from outside. Well, there was no cameras outside, but he was shown there. So that doesn't really say that he took it. Maybe the construction workers took it, right?
Right.
But he came into the house just as I've done when I was having my home built and looked inside a building, looked inside this construction to marvel at, wow, this is how they build a house. This is what they're doing. Now, I'm not saying that's what he was thinking, but I know I've done that. In this area here, I went in just about every house from my house all the way up the street, looking at what they do with construction.
Yes. Same here. I've done this. I think any homeowner has done this, honestly, but I've done it in neighborhoods that's not my neighborhood, just to look like, oh, okay, the building over here, let me see what their floor plan is about to look like.
Right. Oh, wow, this is how they make stairs. Okay, they don't really make them single one by one. They bring in a stringer, right?
Right.
Okay, well, I didn't know that,
So basically on the cameras, they don't have him stealing anything. They know stuff has been stolen.
No.
They don't have him touching. Do they have him touching and moving anything?
Well, they have him touching and lifting stuff up. But at the time of his apprehension, he didn't have anything on him. So that's the date that we are really focused on. We don't have no evidence of him doing this. You just accused him of doing it. We don't have evidence of him doing it. Now, why was he there? The number of times that he was there, I'm not really sure. I don't know.
I don't know if you just said it a second ago or not, but so he was there at the site. When he came out, he was chased by the 3 men that's on trial now.
But let me ask this.
Right.
The 3 men that's on trial, does any of them own the house?
No. None of them own the house. The owner is a person in another location that's having this home built. These guys do not own the house. They just know that in this area where there was some construction being done, things have been coming up missing, theft.
Right, but
so they pinpointed on him. Now, I don't know how you're going to pinpoint construction stuff on a jogger. What are you going to do, carry one piece of lumber at a time? I don't know.
So here's the thing. What we didn't say in the whole summary right here was when he was caught coming out of this house by these 3 men, that they chased him down the road and what took place with the whole altercation. So I was trying to get back to that part of it. So for someone who has no clue, let's talk about it all the way up to the end before we start talking about the details.
So they chased him for about 5 minutes because he was jogging. So they chased him down, finally caught up to him. One of the gentlemen, Travis Michaels or Greg, jumped out the vehicle with a shotgun to confront him. Mm-hmm. Well, Ahmaud most likely took offense to that, and they started a struggle.
Okay.
And within the midst of the struggle, Ahmaud got shot.
Right. Okay. So there's 2 people, right? A father and a son. One of them has a shotgun. They get out. They've got a vehicle with another guy driving, and they're going down chasing this man that's on foot because they see him come out of this house that's being built. They don't see him with anything. They just see the man coming out of there, and they're like, "Hey, stop!" They're chasing him. Right now, I heard something about them trying to run him over into a ditch or squeeze him between something and all of that. Like, so it's not like, hey, we're not just going down the road and we're just behind you blowing the horn at you and stuff, right? Like
they set out and chased this guy down. In the footage that I've seen, I didn't see any ditch. They chased him down. They were out in the middle of the street.
Okay. Then
when the dude jumped out with the gun, of course, I think I'm going to defend myself because I don't want to be shot.
Right.
My life is in danger at this point.
But yes, exactly. And it went from there.
Now the third guy that was with him, he decided, hey, part of the way through this. Okay, go ahead.
Let me record this.
Right.
He sees this and he says, "Let me record this." So he gets behind the truck. He's starting to video record from the beginning to the end, and he captures all of it. Now, to me, and this is an opinion of mine, these when they said, "Let me record this," I believe these 3 gentlemen talked about this is what we're going to do, thinking that the video recording would exonerate you somehow because you were right at what you were doing. Yeah. Well, I'm thinking you didn't mean to possibly didn't intend for the gun to go off and kill the young man.
Right. Well, yeah, I was about to go ahead, Fabo.
They tried to claim self-defense, saying that Ahmaud Arbery reached for the gun, but here's the thing. If you come to me in that environment brandishing a weapon, it's going to scare me enough into defending myself. So, you approach an unarmed gentleman with a shotgun, and you already have the numbers. There's no need for the gun. 3-on-1, you got the numbers, and you add the weapon, but you're claiming self-defense. Make it make sense.
Right.
You know, and that's the point that I want to see made in the trial. Because, you know, you can say all day long, well, it wasn't their property, they weren't supposed to be there, because then argument the defense is going to make is, well, they're just being good neighbors, they're just watching out for the community, and so you can't put a whole lot of time into that. But
Fabo, you are exactly right. That's part of their argument. They were part of the community service here. They were watching out for the neighborhood, want to ensure the integrity of the neighborhood. They found this gentleman that's not supposed to be in this neighborhood. We know he's not a part of this neighborhood. Right. And confronted him.
Right. So they're not going to get anywhere with that.
I was about to come back to this point, right? So let's talk about this citizen's arrest, like Terry said. Is that against the law for them to say, hey, we find someone in our community, we're going to go over here and stop them? Everybody give me y'all's thoughts on that.
Well,
I'm gonna start. Well, go ahead, Gene.
I was just gonna say I feel like we really need to, you know, give our own definition or maybe what we think it is, and then really look it up and give the people the real definition. That's really what I was going to say. But I'll start it off by saying, as far as what I understand, you have to actually catch somebody in the act of a crime to actually do a citizen arrest. So I can't see some jewelry in your hand and just assume that you robbed this jewelry store. I have to actually see you in the act of robbing the jewelry store to actually do the citizen, from what I understand. Now, there may be different rules and laws in different states on how it works, but from where I'm from, that's the gist of it. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, that's the gist of it. Yeah, that's the gist of it. Like I said, you have to be actually in the commission of a crime before they can perform a citizen's arrest. You know, like I said, what they done was an illegal search and seizure, if you will.
Right.
You know, they set up and confronted a man who had committed no crime. It's not illegal to jog into new construction. You know, for all they know, he could have been admiring. Me and my wife have taken many a drives to ride around and look at homes and get ideas and stuff of that nature. So who are we to say that wasn't what he was doing? Who are we to say that he didn't have a dream of building a home for his family and looking at a floor plan, getting ideas? You know, who's to say he wasn't lifting up shingles to see the brand and say, hey, you know, if these look good, I wonder what brand this is. I might want to put these on my home. You know, you can't take any of that and look at it and say, well, you know, this was, you know, he was rummaging good stuff to find something to steal. That's an unbiased opinion. That's an unfair assessment.
Terry, what you got on it, bro?
So, as you said, a citizen's arrest is an arrest made by a person instead of by a police officer. So this means that a person can physically detain another in order to arrest them.
Okay.
So go ahead, Bruce.
No, I was going to say, I had to call in here. Whenever y'all hear us on the podcast refer to Mike, we know Terry said his name, Mike Google. So when I be like, yeah, I asked Mike, it's Mike Google. This is what he said right here, right? So citizen's arrest goes back to 1285, back all the way back then, right? And it come into play where law enforcement wasn't big. There wasn't a lot of law enforcement. So it was more logical to be able to let citizens help with stopping the crimes and things like that, right?
Correct.
But the problem here is the citizen's arrest varies state to state, right? So what would be citizen's arrest or why and all the stuff like that, right? So it says New York makes the arrestor liable for unwarranted detention, where Arkansas, on the other hand, stipulates only a citizen has to have reasonable grounds for believing the felony was committed.
A felony, that's a key word too.
A felony versus a misdemeanor. We have to see you in the act versus we have to have reason to think you did. So it could be, hypothetical. Let's say we're in Arkansas and Fabian says, hey, I just saw Doony steal something over there and take it, worth $5,000. Let's bump it up. It can't be nothing small for a misdemeanor. Right. He just stole a car. Oh, he stole a car. Now I go out here and make a citizen's arrest because I'm believing. And in court, I could say, well, I was told he stole a vehicle. That's over 500 or whatever. That's a felony. You see what I mean? All of that matters. Yeah. And the thing is, I don't think people really think about it when it comes to the judge, the jury system, the court. People don't really realize how granular this stuff is. Because, see, people will sit behind the scenes and just say, citizen's arrest, that's illegal. They ain't Batman. No, it's got some weight to it right here. When we ask Mike, Mike's like, hey, depending on the state you're in, you know, because some things are state, it's going to vary by state. Some things are federal. It's going to be the one thing across the board. So I feel like we just got to look at all the little stuff like that. It's just like kidnapping. Oh, you know, you can't move nobody more than so many feet against their will.
Right.
That might vary state to state. And people may not even really realize, you know, what, I mean, so this might be one of them things, and I don't know, but this is what attorneys get paid the big money for. Because the defense attorney might say, well, if we can prove that he didn't commit a crime, you can't prove that he did a crime, so now we're going to charge you with kidnapping because you basically moved him against his will.
Well, I think the next question is, like, you know, as far as crime-wise, I guess it would be trespassing, but is there such thing is it, you know, public property until the house actually gets built? How does that work? I mean, if nobody bought the house, I guess the owner had to put a camera in the house, so somebody had to own the house, I guess, at that point.
Right. I know in the state of Tennessee, you gotta have a sign.
Yeah, it's the same thing here, Fabo, I think.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I believe, I mean, so I want to, for me personally, when I say something, I want to clarify if I really know it or not. So I'll say, well, from what I hear here in Georgia, you have to have a no trespassing sign up to be able to act out on someone trespassing.
Right.
Now, now that don't go against another law. I can't have a sign up and shoot you out there in my front yard and be like, well, it say no trespassing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because there's a gun law against, you know, when you can and can't shoot someone and stuff.
Right. That's funny, Bruce.
All right, let's talk about the fact that Buddy in the car thought it was a good idea to record this. So
right.
I know. So I think Two Bricks said he believes Buddy got out with the phone, like, oh, let me record this so I can show how we're justified in doing this. So if I'm an attorney now in the court, if I'm the defense attorney and I'm trying to get y'all to go down, I'm going to say, oh, you recorded that on purpose. Right. You're trying to, you know, you're purposely trying to show y'all were going to do this and all this stuff. Why else would you record it? Right. I'm going to try to say y'all did this on purpose. Y'all got in this vehicle going after him, knowing what you were going to do. Now, who wants to guard them? Somebody be the attorney. Somebody take up for him. Tell me why your client is recording. Tell me why he recorded.
Ain't nobody on this phone. Ain't nobody on this phone take up for them.
Well, I can't find I can't find in my mind how I'm going to take up for him. It just seems to me, and I can't for sure say this, but it just seems like it's premeditated because we got 3 people here. This guy comes up in a car recording already. So why would you do that? I mean,
how many videos do we see though that's like seeming like they pre-recorded?
Oh no, I'm about to go. Terry, you want to be the attorney then? You want to be the guy that's trying to get all 3 of us to go down? I'll play the devil's advocate.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I'm gonna say, listen, everybody records nowadays. He saw his friend, he saw this black guy who was so big and so swollen, had all these muscles. He was running so fast. And when he started beating my 2 friends up, I wanted to record it because I didn't know what was going to happen. Nowadays, 2021, we have to be able to show what was happening because I don't want nobody coming back and saying this, that, or the other until it took a bad turn and he tried to kill my friend, so my friend shot him. Now, attorney, what you gonna say about that, Terry?
Well, we just wanted to make sure we covered ourselves because the proof is in the picture here. I wanted to show you that my defendants tried to defend themselves, and this is what we got.
All right, Fabo, Gene, what y'all think? Y'all got any closing arguments? In this fake trial,
don't laugh at my weak closing argument.
Definitely real weak. I was like, that's all you gonna say? They weren't protecting the neighborhood.
Listen, ain't nobody hiring 2 Bricks.
Not for that one.
No, I said y'all
to jail.
I said y'all play the attorney that's trying to make the guys go down. I'm trying to protect them. That's why I gave my statement as if I'm trying to protect them. Like, hey, there was nothing wrong. We recorded it because everybody's doing that nowadays. This was wild, right? With these court. So in the court process, you know, you're innocent till proven guilty, right?
Right.
So
you're supposed to be.
We really ain't trying. We're not really trying to prove points. We're trying to tell a story, and we're trying to get the jury, these 12 folks over here, to be like, hey, listen. everybody nowadays is doing this. You can't honestly sit here and tell me, don't y'all have grandkids? Don't they record stuff all day, every day? Aren't they always on the phone? This is something natural nowadays. That don't mean just because this event that just so happened to happen was recorded, don't mean we set out to just be demons. Have we killed people before?
Great point, young sir. But this man is 45. He's not your grandkids. And that's not part of his era that we record everything.
Well, he lives in the era today. Today, everybody records everything. So
this seems premeditated. 3 of these gentlemen got together. He says, I'll do the recording because the Michaels family had law enforcement in their family. One of the 2 gentlemen used to be an ex-police officer. So he felt he knew the law and he was justified for it. That's why he probably commandeered that person to do the recording so he could try to get off with this crap.
And I'm glad you brought that up, Attorney Hinton, because he was an ex-law enforcement. That's why he felt the need to take care of his community. That's why he was there patrolling, because he heard about.
He wasn't hired to do this. He wasn't hired to do this.
Right. He didn't
ask you to go out and do it. The owner didn't even ask you to do this.
Right. But citizens arrest is lawful. It's lawful.
Okay. It's lawful.
He's protecting his community. Hold on. Is it not true that there's been thefts in the community and at the construction site?
It is true. It is true.
How do we hear about these thefts? I mean, how did they hear about it? Like, how many times does somebody building a house in your area, you just hear, oh, they got short on wood, or somebody stole their paint? I'm not sure, but I mean, communities are tight knit, because like in Terry's community, they're still building new stuff. So Terry will tell me all the time, oh man, they just threw that up. Oh man, they just put up a new light. I mean, people in that area in your community, they keep up with what's going on in that community because they got a common interest. You know what I mean?
Plus, in my community, this is an example. We have a couple. I don't want to give their race, but we have a couple that is doing some type of work with brick in their house. And every time there's a new brick brought to the construction site, the night after they've done working, that couple's out there gathering bricks.
Wait a minute. Are we saying that?
I've seen something like that.
Are you saying they must be doing something? They must be doing something in their home. So when new bricks show up in the community, they are out there like taking bricks.
They are taking bricks. Me and my wife have seen them open up the back of their Suburban and fill it up with bricks. I'm like, what the WTF? What is going on?
They probably building a fire pit in the backyard or something.
Now, hold on.
Hey, man, sounds efficient.
Hold on. Now, here's a good question. This is real. We got a real person on this phone who is seeing theft happen, right?
He didn't call nobody.
Now, listen, he sees theft happen.
Ain't called
He said he called his wife.
Well, no, that ain't even about to be my point. Terry, did you?
You're right. I did not call anybody. It's not my business. I don't get. If you wanted to guard that, you should put a security guard on that crap.
Hold on. So, Terry, how did you and your wife see this? How is it?
We watched them.
Right. I mean, what
them.
were you doing when you watched them? You were just outside, watering the grass. Oh, look at them stealing bricks.
Well, we walk our community. We walk our area. Mm-hmm. We see this Suburban that lives on the other side of the complex pull up. We see these 2 people, short, 2 people, dark hair, get out, start gathering bricks. This thing come out the trash can. These were bricks that were laying around that they possibly could have used inside the home, bricks that they pulled out,
right,
and put them in their car. So we're walking through the neighborhood watching them. Well, eventually we stop and sit there and watch them. Wow.
Oh,
they're taking stuff.
The story just took a turn, didn't it? Then you stopped and watched them.
Because I can't believe you're doing this. I was like, wow.
So did they see you, or were you hiding behind trees, or how did this work?
No, they see me as plain as day. I'm not trying to hide shit. I'm too big.
Well, we're asking because I don't know if you, Gene, Fabo, I don't know if y'all were thinking the same thing, but in my mind, I'm thinking this is how stuff starts. Now, if the couple would have seen Terry and his wife, it might have kind of felt alerted, like, oh, what are they doing? Now they may have.
What do you mean when you alert?
They may have tried
all
to follow
kinds of people
them.
in neighborhoods walking and seeing them do this, Bruce. There's a lot of folks see them.
Well, there may be people that walk and see them, but that don't mean that they stop. That don't, you know. I'm just saying.
You're saying you weren't the only couple walking at that particular time. Is what you're saying?
No,
that's not.
We generally we're not.
Right.
So, but we generally are not, though.
But here, listen. Here's the takeaway. The takeaway is if you listen to that story before we had anything to say back to Terry about it, just listen to the story. Someone would be able to paint the picture of, Terry and his wife was being nosy. Why ain't they minding their business? Right. I'm saying if something happened between Terry's family and that family that was supposedly stealing bricks, it would have been, then why were they out there? What were they doing? How do you know they were stealing bricks? How you know they weren't at their house? They may live somewhere else, but how you know someone didn't say that they have them, You see what I mean? I'm just talking about how people paint stories and how it goes. I'm not saying Terry was wrong. You know what I mean? Because Terry's defense, I'm part of this community. We just walk around here to be helped, for whatever reason. Now we see this happening. You see what I mean? Go ahead, Terry.
Let's back up here. So knowing all this, we knew the building super of this area. We've said, hey, Tony, these people look like they're taking stuff. He goes, yeah, I know. We've talked to them, but we can't catch them. I said, well, we see them all the time.
So you've seen this theft more than once.
Y'all don't.
Y'all don't understand. We've seen this more than once.
Y'all don't understand what I'm hearing in this story here.
Oh dear.
What I want to know is this. I just got one question. At any point did you feel the need to go get a firearm and confront them personally?
Hell no. Heck no. Okay. For what? For some bricks?
Hold on, Fabo. If he had a firearm on him, if he had his license to carry, that nullifies that, right? Now, we can't just say, you had a firearm on you, you got it just to go over there and bust heads. If he could legally have it, that's one. But two, I feel like this is the same thing. If something went down and Terry had to end up shooting one of them or whatever, or getting into some kind of altercation or anything, this is one of the times where he would be able to say in the defense, we talked to the supervisor. He was telling us about this or that going on.
Right.
Now we're trying to be, citizens arrest, or we're trying to watch out for our community. The guy said, yeah, man, it's happening. I can't catch him. Y'all see what I'm saying? I'm not saying one's right or wrong. I'm just saying these are the way arguments will be presented. See, that was a new piece of information. That was a new piece of information that came out at the end of the story that Terry just said. So then we're like, oh, wait, so someone did tell him that. To certain people, that would be like, let me put my cape on and go on over there then. I'm going to catch them.
No. If let me see, who's the builder in this area here? This is whoever the builder is. I can't even think of it. If they wanted to protect their assets, they should have put a security in this location, like I've seen them do in other areas. If they want to protect these assets from walking away, which lots of stuff in this area walked away. I mean, I've seen where people pull up 5 o'clock in the morning because I was up outside, pull up to a house that they were building, load up something, and gone. At 5 o'clock in the morning?
Can I go ahead and say that I don't want to live in the same neighborhood as you, because I can see now that you're not a good neighbor. You don't report.
Man, Terry done told me about people's Amazon. He done told me about people's Amazon box sitting outside and stuff. How they be looking at them and stuff. But listen, y'all gotta understand this takeaway, because I got another topic for us to talk about. But my whole thing, everybody can give their closing statement here. My whole thing is, just because Terry didn't hear this from the supervisor and say, let me throw my cape on and go save the day, don't mean other people won't.
Right.
And that's what people do. Some people out there would feel like, hey, this is my community too. Let me go do something or say something or stop something, because if they'll steal the bricks from over there, when will it be my house? And those will be valid points being made to the jury in a court if something went down. Because people in that court, if they got their own community they're tight-knit with, or got houses they just built and stuff, they're going to be like, oh, okay, that makes sense to me. That's all I'm saying. I'm not here to say if it's right or wrong. You know what I mean? Or there would be people saying, Terry is a black man. He don't look like he walks. He looks out of shape. I ain't never seen him walking. You see what I mean? Yeah. That's the crazy stuff leads into. Now they talking about, does Terry really exercise or not? You see what I mean?
Right.
I exercised that day.
just like Ahmaud Arbery was exercising that day.
Right.
I read some stuff that they had thrown out of the case. So, you know, and it was his past, and saying, you know, he used jogging as an excuse to search for things to steal and things of that nature. But apparently they got thrown out because they didn't know that at the time they tried to apprehend him. They didn't know that he had a criminal history. They just done it based off of, you know, their suspicion. So the judge didn't allow that to be used in the closing arguments. And that's probably going to be the best thing for Ahmaud Arbery, because it is speculation at this point. If they had followed up on everything and knew that this man had a criminal history, had theft in his history and things of that nature, then they might be able to build a defense against that. Or, hey, they've known this man for 10 years. He's done this at other places. So they just felt that he was still doing the same thing. And then you got a steep hill to climb if you're the prosecution. But seeing that seeing that the judge threw all that out, yeah.
It makes sense if they found something at his house, like some shingles, some bricks,
right?
You know, or something like that you can connect. Like, yeah, he was definitely stealing. But if you don't have any evidence there, I think that whole type of thing should be thrown.
Right.
But even then, the meat ain't reaching. It's if they go over his house right now, and the man got a whole thing. He done built a clubhouse. Like, dude, if you didn't see him in the process right
you
there,
you can't prove it. You can't prove it where he got it from.
Right. I mean, I heard they were trying to look into
that's the case. Well, that's what I'm saying. And if that's the case, you could be in the middle of construction of your own in your backyard. You could be building yourself a shed,
right,
using similar materials. The thing is, you can't prove that's where they come from. They sell the same materials at Lowe's, Home Depot, Hades, all these different places. So,
that's true, and that's exactly what's happening in this neighborhood. People got all kinds of new construction. I'm like, man, that is a nice shed out there.
Got me sound like I need to just pull up. and he might look out. That's what it sounds like. He's looking out for the people. He gonna make sure nobody find out because he ain't telling nobody. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just put my truck. Just tell me to add
my business game is too strong. When I tell you I can see somebody climbing out my neighbor window and I'm not calling nobody, okay? I don't want no problems.
Now, I might stop right there, but I don't want no this is the deal. This is Fisher's product. Fisher Company owns this merchandise. What do you call it? This product, whatever, the lumber, these materials. Fisher owns that. If Fisher was worried about theft and cost, they should have hired security to keep you out of here, keep you away from it. So they drive up and down the street. So it ain't my job to go and report on somebody to the police that this is happening. Now, I told the Fisher guy says, yes, we know, we have been trying to catch him. I've talked to them about this. So they've changed their pattern. Well, I said, well, this is the new pattern. But they didn't.
Barry watching that. He got the meat.
Yeah. He like the Ring doorbell. You don't even need one. Boy. You see everything.
Well, you're right, because I'm outside a lot, sitting in my garage, watching in my peripherals, everything in there, I can see it. Then we'll step out further, take our walks, we see what's going on. Come 7, 8 o'clock in the summertime, when all the construction is gone, that's when the little Suburban pops out with the cardboard in the back so they don't get it dirty and start loading up.
Hey, listen, you about one more of them sentences away from being a character witness. Okay.
I'm like, did he say that? Cardboard in the back?
Listen, did you just hear this man? Hey, matter of fact, call them folks, man. 2 bricks, call them folks. Because right now you're almost an accessory, dog. You know too much, man.
Now, if you need me to, I can take you to the house that we see the Suburban at. I can take you to the house that I see that exact Suburban at.
All them folks.
Yeah,
it's over.
All right, y'all. Hey, so I got a new topic for y'all to talk about. I got to get y'all's thoughts. I don't know if anybody watched the Kevin Samuel show. I sent y'all the link last night. It was getting deep. I don't know how this man always got the deep stuff going on. I know a lot of women don't like it. A lot of men get the chest stuck out, proud, like, heck yeah, I'm glad somebody's saying it. But the topic of last night was how men are being abused for their time and their finances. And I'm telling you, when I tuned in, he was telling a woman that he was basically talking to a woman. You know, y'all, if y'all don't know the flow, Kevin Samuels, real popular, 1.2 million subscribers right now on YouTube. He goes live. He goes live every night, Monday through Friday, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday nights, usually around 10:30ish. He's live on YouTube. Tuesday and Thursday nights, he's live on his Instagram. He got a million followers on there too. So you can't tell me somebody like that ain't doing the work when you got that much following, right? He's super consistent. He's even super consistent with his messaging. But last night he was telling the lady she had a coochie debt, and she was like, "What are you talking about?" Well, you know, just a quick summary, y'all. He was basically saying, we brought this up before on the show here, that when you first meet a man, you know, the man is expected to pay for everything. Mm-hmm. He's expected to invest all this time in you and all this stuff. Right. When you know him, the man initially wants the sex. The man is sexually attracted to you if he's doing this stuff. We just can't come right out and just say, hey, so when are we going to have sex? He's like, because that's lame. No, I mean, guys don't really want to do that. But he's like, but ladies.
When we go bone.
Right. But ladies, y'all shouldn't be even going on the second date if you're not sexually attractive to him enough to where you would let him go ahead and get it on that second date if you want to. He was like, if you make it to the third date, take it in your hands to say, hey, how about the third date? Why don't you come to my house and I'll cook for you? He was like, that way a guy knows, okay, I ain't really got to even bring it up. It's probably going to go down because she's in her house where she's most comfortable and things of that nature, right? So he was talking to a lady who was saying she dated a guy for so long and, you know, never gave him any and all this other stuff. And he was like, oh, yeah, see, you got a coochie debt. And she was like, well, no, there was things about him I didn't like. He had his a baby mama call him one night, and he was like, wait, so what's that got to do with you? You still going out with him? You still got him spending this money or whatever? He's like, okay, well, how about this? Why don't you pay him back all the money plus time he lost? He was like, because see, it ain't just about the money. If this is a high earning guy, he's busy, got businesses or whatever, he's taken away from all of that where he could be working just to go out with you, spend time with you, money and stuff with you, whatever. So, I mean, it's just real crazy, y'all. But
ain't gotta be high earning.
The coochie, right? We ain't got to be, but as I'm saying, the more high earning you are and the more you got going on, that time you're being robbed of. And he's like, women don't understand. There's certain things men have to do in a certain way a man has to move nowadays because of what we go through in society. He's like, so for instance, ma'am, did you know if me and you go out and you have a couple of drinks, now I can no longer sleep with you? He's like, I can no longer sleep with you. You don't have some drinks. Because it could easily come back saying that you got drunk or, I mean, y'all know why.
Right.
Y'all know why. Because y'all see what happens out here. But the thing was, he was like, men nowadays have to get consent. Regardless of how lame it may seem, men really need to be able to get consent nowadays, or women, you need to go ahead and just come out and say, hey, yeah, let's just do this. He said, because see, I mean, I think he's like 55 or 65. And he said, see, when I was younger, we didn't have to worry about women dating multiple men. He's like, if I'm dating such and such, I know I'm the only one pretty much dating her. He says, see, nowadays a woman's going out, she's eating and dating a couple of men and going home and sleeping with somebody else. And you're wasting these men time and stuff. So he's like, so you got a coochie debt. You owe that man some coochie. She's laughing. He's like, it ain't funny. I'm being for real. All right. So y'all can go ahead and tell me what y'all think about that up to that point.
Well, I mean, I definitely feel like it's unbalanced. I mean, there's no questions about that. I mean, if you take the average guy and he starts to say, hey, I want to start dating, right? So nowadays you got to get online, get on a little app, swipe left, swipe right, finally find a date, then go out with this date. Well, let's just say you find 2 or 3. So you got on date, like Kevin said, you go out with one girl one night, that's Monday, right? That's $100. You go on your next date the next day, that's another 100. That's 3. You go on the next date, that's 3 dates, that's $300 right there. Now, if they all say, hey, let's go out on another date, that's $600 you're pushing or more, depending on how bad you want to impress each one or how the night's going, all without getting anything. And then by the third day, if they say, oh, this is not going to work, you spent $900 on 3 different girls and got nothing out of it. Nothing, not a dime, nothing, no education. Just as in her mind, she's going to tell you, oh, well, you got to be with me. I'm pretty in her mind.
Well, one of them said it last night too. 2 Bricks, what you think?
I don't really have an opinion on this situation here, Mr. Jackson.
Fabo, what about you?
Well, I'm the king of when it comes to waste time. So I got plenty to say.
All right,
okay.
talk to us.
So here's my take on it. You can get several different things out of the conversation, out of the experience, but it all depends on what you're looking for when it comes to actual, if your time's wasted. If you're looking for companionship, if you're looking for somebody to just sit there and have a quiet dinner with, then that $100 is worth it. But if you're there looking for sex as a payoff, if you're there looking for a relationship as a payoff, if you're there looking for, you know, anything other than what you're getting, then that's when you start to consider it being time wasted. There's not a man on this phone that's not went on a date with a woman and within 5 minutes knew what his intentions were with her and what he wanted to do and what he was willing to accept and things of that nature. So you got to believe they know it too. So there shouldn't be a second date. This is where I agree with Kevin Samuels. There should not be a second date if you know that that's not the goal. If you know that giving him the coochie is not the goal, there should be no second date. It's these women that go out and have these dates for the free meal to post it on social media like, yeah, I got him again, girl. Those are the ones ruining it for the women who really want these dates.
Right. Fabo, I think that's what he's saying now also. He's saying that's the point we've got to now. These women are purposely being like, the girl last night was like, I mean, he was like, were you fully sexually attractive to him when you went on the first date? Were you thinking, yes, I would sleep with him? She's like, well, not really. I was just thinking maybe it could grow into something. He was like, yeah, see, that's bullshit. He was like, because guys, if we take you on the date the first time, we already know we would smash. We know what we want to do.
Facts.
Right.
There wouldn't be no money spent otherwise.
And so there you go. The money and the time that we've got here really is an investment. You know, how many times have you heard a woman say, I don't know why, just because a guy bought me a couple of drinks at the club, he followed me around. Mm-hmm. He followed his investment. He's thinking, I met you, you're cool, we're talking, I'm going to buy you a drink. He feels like I just paid for a little bit of your time and conversation. You know, that don't mean you owe him some because he got to drink. That means he's thinking, because I bought you this, dang, can I get another 15 or 20? I bought you a second one. Can I get you another? Can I get your phone number so we can actually keep in touch after this? Problem is, women don't really see that they're tied to any of that. And, you know, and I'm not, and I wouldn't tell my daughter you are, but I would say is, if you got that first drink, okay, thank you. But if he try to get you a second one, you don't even need to accept it. If you're not already thinking, I'd give him my phone number. He's cool so far, and da-da-da-da-da.
And that was about to be my point.
Yeah, they have no cutoff. They'll take 12 and be like, well, that don't mean I owe you anything. When they really should know up front, this is why this guy is doing this. Y'all go ahead. Thoughts?
Here's what I know. Okay. There's not a man on this earth that buys a drink just to buy a drink. He buys a drink for something in return. Mm-hmm. And there's not a woman on this earth that feels like there's a man just buying a drink because he's nice. It's not how this works.
Right.
So if you're not willing to give that time, if you're not willing to give that attention, then just don't accept the drink.
Well,
that's the safe way.
And let me tell you something.
But we all know that's not going to happen. We all know it's not going to happen.
Right. So when you say there's not a woman on this earth that accepts the drink. So this is what I've heard also now. Well, they think because they got nice and pretty and stuff and went out there, they think they're getting the drinks because they just look so good and they got done up so nice. They're not taking it, and that's what Kevin Samuels was trying to drive it home. He was like, men aren't even we're not even treated like they're human. Like nobody even looks at a man's point of view and thinks, man, he's going through this or having to go through that. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's still in vain. She's like, well, because I'm so pretty and look so good, he done bought me 4 Long Island iced teas. Mm-hmm. Not he's so interested, or man, if I take this other drink, he's gonna be probably asking me for my number. And that's what makes it so easy for her to get them drinks, be sipping or whatever, and being like, now let me get on up and walk around and see who else I could talk to.
Yeah, I mean, I personally know girls that go to the club and literally have no money. Yeah. Knowing they're going to have a good time because guys are going to buy them drinks.
And that's entitlement. Yeah. What
there was a comedian who said that a woman, said the tighter the budget, the tighter the dress. Said, but if a man goes out with an empty wallet, he's just a broke, lonely SOB.
Mm-hmm. Were you about to say something, Terry?
Actually, Fabo made me laugh on that.
Oh, Terry, it's true.
So you said, Fabo, I can't walk up to, hey, babe, let me get a little sip of that.
It never happens.
You got a free?
It'll never happen. Could you imagine the face she would make if you talk to her and say, hey, listen, honey, I fell on hard times this week, man. Can you buy me a couple of drinks, get me through the night? I'll give you some attention.
But I'm handsome. Shit. I got on a nice shirt. I smell good. I'm just broke.
And here's the thing. Our attention isn't worth that. Our attention doesn't have value. You know what I'm saying? That right there is where it really gets deep, because women ain't out here looking for our time and attention in a club. They're looking for our time and attention at a home. So in a club environment, they're looking for a free drink and a good time.
Well, this is what I got to say. Go ahead and finish, Fabo.
To make a long story short, like I said, a man's time is valued in that environment. It's absolutely not.
I just know as a man, we cannot assume that these women know that I'm buying you this drink for something in return, because they'll get that.
How many times they gotta go?
Hold on. Go ahead, Terry.
They'll get that blonde moment. I'm not to disrespect blonde women, but they'll get that dumbfounded moment. That's like, well, I just thought you were buying them.
Okay, go ahead.
And there's nothing we can do about it.
I mean, I'm almost really wanting to disagree across the whole board as far as even the second date, because I feel like if you're going out with the first date with me, then you already need to know that I look good enough for you too. Now, I understand that I could say some stuff and you could say some stuff that'll kill that, where you don't want to have sex with me and I don't want to have sex with you. But I definitely feel like you, off the first conversation, before I even buy you the drink, you're looking at me. Do I look good enough where you feel like, hey, this could be something before I speak? That should be the decision, not let me buy you the second drink and then you decide from there. Like, because I'm already wasting time and money. If you don't feel like I look good enough, you know what I'm saying? Let's keep it moving. Now, to go off what Terry was talking about, I feel like really, really indifferent about that. Like, how many times does a girl have to go to the club or anywhere and get a free drink for her to be naive, right? So after 1 week of clubbing or 1 day of clubbing, you know the routine. Like, to me, you hear girls like they play naive, but then they say things to let you know they're not naive, meaning that, oh, all men are dogs. If you're saying that, then you know we all want sex. So you can't be naive that when a dude is talking to you that he wants sex. If you know all men, you say all. You don't say some. You say all men are dogs. That's the word we use.
Yeah, we better get it up front. We better get an upfront agreement, man. We need to, if we're gonna come in straight out, then we need to say, hey, I'm buying this in terms that you might want to spend some time with me, and we might take it a little further. Okay. So they know straight up, because you leave it to them having to know this, and you're I think we're going to lose all the time.
I'm glad you said that, because that was his point last night is getting to the point to where men have to get consent. But then guess what? Now that's a beta male. Now that's a simp. Oh, we don't like a man talking about sex. And that's when he was like, look, all of y'all out here talking about y'all need to wait so long and stuff. Y'all ain't virgins. He was like, most of y'all ain't virgins. So don't act like you don't know what it is. See, they act one way, but then want to be treated a certain way. And that's really the problem that men are boxed in. Hey, I mean, Terry, you should be able to go out and be like, hey, how you doing? My name's Terry. What's your name? I'm looking at you. You look good. I'm attracted to you, whatever. I would like to get your number. Maybe we can go out on a date or whatever. But I'm going to go ahead and let you know I'm not going to go on no more than 2 dates, really, unless we having sex. Because I'm not going to be out here putting a lot of my money and time in this. Unless you want to pay for everything yourself, I'll pay for everything myself until we decide we want to do this or do that. That woman you just said that to would be like, who the hell he think he is?
Yeah.
And the woman said that last night. She was like, he said, okay, ma'am, how about this? That's fine. She was like, I just don't feel, I'm 27. I don't feel like I should have to have sex with a guy in three days. He said, ma'am, that's fine. How long do you think it should take? He was like, she said, oh, well, I don't really know. It just depends on the guy and the vibe and the feel. He said, okay, then how about this? You don't let that man pay for anything. He's not going to drive you anywhere. Everything you do is pro bono. It's on you and it's on him. Y'all meet up somewhere at the same time. You pay for everything, and then you don't waste none of his time. Don't expect him to have to call you back. Don't expect him to have to text you back, until you decide you were wanting to give him the sex. How about that? Then she's like, oh, well, women don't really like that because we feel like it's the men's job to really pay for the stuff,
It's the sense of entitlement of it all.
Wow.
It is the sense of entitlement. They feel like they're entitled to that, whether they earn it or not. They feel like they're entitled to that, whether they give you anything in return or not. And that right there is what is wrong with dating and why nobody wants to do it. Here's the thing, okay? 90% of the things in your life, you do it because there's an incentive. What's the incentive to keep doing this? So don't say all men are dogs, just say the game is flawed. Because there's a whole other argument there. I get that.
Oh, wow.
But what I'm saying is this. if I meet a pretty woman in the grocery store and say, man, I like the way she holding them green beans, man. She got nice manicured hands. I'm gonna shoot my shot. So you go, and by the way, fellas, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So you go up, you shoot your shot, you get the number, you chat it up. All right, let's go on this first date. All right. But if you tell her, hey, I don't know if this is going to be a mutual investment, so I think we need to be Dutch. I think you need to pay for your portion of the meal, pay for my portion of the meal. Do you think there's a woman in today's society that's still going to agree to go on that date?
There's a few. Really a handful.
There's a few. But have you ever met one? But have you ever met one?
No,
but here's my question. Have you ever met one?
Man, look.
I have not.
I haven't either. Fabo, you're going to have to look like Idris Elba. You're going to have to
every bit of it. But that's my
the biggest dime in the world to her.
But that's my point. Because then you have payoff. Because at the end of the day, you have the incentive. She's like, man, yeah, I got to pay for my own meal, but I get to look at this man while I do it. There's the incentive there.
Right. And that's one of the things he was saying. He was like, men just want everything to be equal across the board.
Hello.
He was like, if this person can get the sex that fast, you should be having the sex that fast with everybody.
Hello.
Don't try to make me wait all these dates. Because Kevin said himself, he was like, I've been the guy on the other end. You going out with all these dates, eating with everybody else, and then coming home calling me the fuck. He was like, I've been that guy. He was like, and that ain't fair to the guys. You know what I mean? You're putting this money, you're taking this money and this time, and then saying, well, whatever, screw it. So what y'all gonna tell your kids about it? We got about 5 more minutes. I mean,
I just feel like we gotta take the power back, man. Like that's what it is. We talk about the simp men and all this type of stuff, but I really just feel like we need to take the power back. If you don't want to pay for the date, don't pay for the date. But the problem is you don't do that, right? And then you sit there, and then there may be another guy that's got a little bit more money. He doesn't care because he can spend all the money in the world. He don't really care. So he's taking her on a date, and she's never looking back at you. So then you have to feel like you got to keep up. So now you got to spend money, and you keep doing it instead of standing your ground. And that's where I feel like we mess up as men. We don't stand our ground too long, or women end up breaking us.
Go ahead, Terry. You better say something. I hear the breath. I hear the breathing.
It come through.
Come on, 2 bricks.
I mean, I agree with my boy what he just said, but this is the deal. I'm sorry you couldn't keep up. It's just your loss. So you're gonna have to find another way because I'm gonna keep on pouring it into her. And I'm just being devil's guy. I'm just playing, but that's the way I also see it. I'm sorry you couldn't keep up, man. You was at your $100 limit. Right. I got 500. So
he's basically saying like I'm saying stay a man and don't pay for the date, but he's saying like he got the money, so he's just gonna keep paying for him, and they're gonna keep coming to him only, and I'm gonna just be struggling. And that's what's happening.
Terry ain't been out here in a long time.
Well, I mean, but what he's saying, what he's saying is true. That's literally what happened.
Listen, that's gonna be a whole Fabo. That's gonna be a whole episode one day. I'm gonna be like, hey, it's hard out here. See, I mean, and I'm not being funny, but when you hear your boy say something, you be like, oh, you've been married for 20, 30 years, ain't it? They don't know.
You can tell.
Boy, they don't know.
Good advice right now.
Listen,
there was a bunch of memes out here that a guy wrote to Dale Carey when he was thinking about leaving his wife. And if you haven't read them yet, they're golden. Just look up Dale Carey memes about leaving his wife and put aside some time to do it. And when I tell you, oh my God, man, when I tell you, I think people like Terry need to read that because once you read that, he's going to change his whole statement, his whole outlook on all of this.
So what happened? Hold up.
Fabo, send me that. That's our next episode, dog.
Sidebar conversation, Terry. We'll get into that.
All right.
Yeah. What's his name? Dale Carey?
Dale Carey. And
is that Stefan's dad?
Yeah. I can't remember the name of the cat who sent him this, but when I tell you,
I remember
he sent this man a series of tweets, and when I tell you, it's probably the funniest thing I've ever read in my life.
No, it's so crazy. You know what's crazy?
Accurate. The accuracy.
Yeah, they always so on point. And what it would be, it's almost like talking to Terry. Terry been married a long time. And it's like, oh, Terry, you don't really realize what it's like out here. That's why I say when he's like, nah, you don't know. So, okay.
And that's my point.
You ain't been out here. Hey, I promise you I'd hate to see Terry get out here right now. I'd be like, oh my God. Last time he was out here, women were so respectful. They would consider it your time, maybe. Like right now, Terry would be like, "What's going on? Is it me? You know, what did I do? No, listen, it's just different." That's why apps like Tinder is thriving because that right there is a way to say that it's kind of like a checkbox. It's like, hey, saying this is off the rip saying you're attracted to me. Well, you swipe left and I swipe left. That's how we matched, right? I think that's how it works, right? Is that how it goes?
I think it's right.
If y'all swipe the same way or something, then it's like, hey, you two are interested into each other.
You got to swipe.
Don't act like you don't know.
I don't know. I
think it's right to like them and left to not like them. So if we both swipe right, like we like each other,
right? I mean, Terry, I understand the premise of it, but you know, that's kind of like getting the first step out the way because instead of a woman going out here getting all these meals and then being like, yeah, he kind of attractive. Like, no, what you mean? You swipe right on me, or you swipe left on me, whatever. So you can't try to act like you really ain't attracted to me.
Terry, let me give you one pointer right here. You almost can't even go out here. It's not even almost. You really can't even go out here and ask for a girl's number no more. You got to ask for an IG or something.
God.
Oh yeah. See. Terry don't even know his Instagram account.
To be honest, fellas, that might be the best.
I still don't, man. Don't tell me that. I gotta look this up. Where is about Terry on this app?
Hold on. Y'all don't understand what Terry just said. 2 bricks is giving his age. He got an Instagram account. He gets on and looks at stuff, but don't know how to see his own name on there. It's right there on the screen, and he does not know where his username is at. Boy, he wild.
Hold on, let me bring this up, man. Oh, God. Y'all killing me.
Go ahead, Fabo. What were you about to say, Fabo?
I got nothing, man. I'm
Terry wilding out.
See, I'm afraid to say where because I don't see it.
Listen, I got a topic for us.
Oh, shit.
Is it more beneficial to get her number versus her social media account?
All right, 5 minutes. Let's spend 5 more minutes on it. All right. Is it more beneficial to get her phone number? Her IG versus the phone number
versus the phone number. Yes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Which one would you rather have, and why? 10 seconds.
You definitely want the social media just so you can scan through the picture. Basically, kind of go through her whole life and see what's going on, what she allow you to see, or what people allow you to see.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, a lot of people, devil's advocate, a lot of people will be like, "Well, I don't know you like that." I feel like if someone's willing to go ahead and just give you their Instagram up front, they probably already really for the streets.
Either that or they're really open to you. Either that or they're comfortable with you.
But how they comfortable with you when you just met them? Because so back in the day, you asked for a phone number off the rip. Hey, what's your name? Oh, my name is this. You know, you're real pretty, but I got around. Can I get your phone number? Because I would like to keep, basically implying I would like to keep communication with you. You see what I'm saying? So if that's today's Instagram versus phone number, you know, a lot of people will be like, well, I don't know you like that to be giving you that because now I'm giving you access to my personal info. So, I mean, I hear people say it for Facebook also. I think people just take Facebook a little more serious than Instagram. See, some social medias are a little more serious than other. Oh, Facebook, where pictures of my kids are on there and my grandma and family and stuff. You know, I don't know about that. Oh, Instagram, okay, whatever.
We're on vacation.
Right. But now the pro side of that, Fabo, is they got all their pictures of their best self on Instagram. Right. So depending on where you see them and what they look like, you may get on Instagram and be getting catfished. You know, you like,
listen, let me tell you, I go straight for the tag photos because your friends don't care nothing about that angle, nothing about the lighting, nothing about the environment.
Hey, boy, you just put Terry up on game. Terry said, what's a tag photo?
Yeah, shoot me straight to the tag photo section.
Then the photos I lost on that one too.
The one you got a little cheeseburger dribbling down your chin because they caught you in some act thinking it was funny. That's the picture I want to see. The picture of your hair in a mess because you just got up from a drunk night in Vegas with your girls.
Fabo,
that's the picture I want to see.
Can you tell Terry what the tag photo is? Because he lost it.
Tag photo is where somebody posts a photo about you on social media and they include you in the post. They insert your name and tag it to the photo, stating that you're in the photo.
Right.
And that's what I mean by a tag photo.
It's like a way of saying, like, yeah, this person's with me. If me,
this person was here with me,
Fabo, and everybody sitting out in your garage, Terry, and I take the picture and I post it on my account, and I tag you in it, and I say Terry's with me, Fabo's with me, Doony's with me. Now people would see y'all are there with me and see that. So Fabian's saying,
I just got one thing to add.
What's that?
They're gonna kill Terry. They're gonna kill Terry in the comment section on this one.
Let's go through is that Facebook or what is that? What is that? Is that both of them or what?
You can tag people in both, Terry. Is that what you asking?
Well, I just, since y'all are my younger buddies, we can go through a tutorial. I don't mind. I don't know. I'm sorry.
We're gonna have to do this off the clock.
Yeah, we'll have to do it another time. We got to wrap this up. Terry, hold on. Now, I know you've been over there. I know you've been over there
talking about like I'm slow. We're gonna have to do this off the clock.
All right, man.
No, I'm supposed to get off here 3 minutes ago. Have you, Terry?
We gotta wrap this up, fellas.
Yeah, we wrapping it up. Terry, do you before we get off here, did you find your Instagram name for the folks?
No.
All right, Terry. Terry, your Instagram name is T48. I mean T Hinton 48.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, it's T Hinton 48 saying thanks.
He said
T. You know, I usually try to leave y'all. With a gem.
Yeah, leave us with some good words, Fabo. What you got for us, man?
You know, I usually keep my slogan, you gotta be too something to do something. But I heard something last night that rivaled even that, and it's too good to not share.
Okay, go ahead.
And
this is coming from the desk of Fabo. He want y'all to take this with y'all today.
Listen, like I said, it's no secret. I love thick women. It's no secret. But, so for me to say you gotta be too something to do something, that means something to me, okay? But I heard this lady say, you got to be 250 to get this kitty.
God.
I lost it. Hey, when I tell you, I had to.
Wait a minute, is it at least 250 or on 250?
Yeah, at least 250 to get this kitty.
Oh, we in.
I heard what she said was you got to be 250. I think you got to be 250 to get this kitty.
Terry, don't say we all in because Gene ain't 250.
Definitely ain't 250.
Definitely.
Oh, Gene ain't 250?
No,
definitely not.
I'm fighting to get away from 200 like that.
Boy, yeah, I can definitely say I'm 250 now.
Yeah, easy. Man. That's easy money. That's middle school. But all right, y'all, to the next episode.
That wasn't middle school, but it is now.
If anybody got any comments, anything y'all want to say to me, Doony, two Bricks Hinton, or Fabo, put it in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. If you're not, follow us on the podcast app and check us out on YouTube. Till next time, man, we'll holler at y'all.
You've been listening to Word Brings Word. It's Bruce's passion to bring in dads and men to give them a place to talk like dads and men, or to just come and hang out and have a place to pass the time. We hope you enjoyed the show. We know we had fun. Make sure to like, rate, and review the show. We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, hook up with us on YouTube at Word Brings Word and find Word Brings Word on all podcast channels. See you next time.